ทีพระราหุเทวังรักขตุมังนะโมพระราหุเทวังปาปะจักขุโทสังคิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายาวินาสันตุอาเสสะโตรักขันตุโนสะทาโสตทีพระราหุเทวังรักขตุมังนะโมพระราหุเทวังปาปะจักขุโทสังคิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายาวินาสันตุอาเสสะโตรักขันตุโนสะทาโสตทีพระราหุเทวังรักขตุมังนะโมพระราหุเทวังปาปะจักขุโทสังคิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายาวินาสันตุอาเสสะโตรักขันตุโนสะทาโสตทีพระราหุเทวังรักขตุมังนะโมพระราหุเทวังปาปะจักขุโทสังคิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายาวินาสันตุอาเสสะโตรักขันตุโนสะทาโสตทีพระราหุเทวังรักขตุมังนะโมพระราหุเทวังปาปะจักขุโทสังคิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายาวินาสันตุอาเสสะโตรักขันตุโนสะทาโสตทีพระราหุเทวังรักขตุมังนะโมพระราหุเทวังปาปะจักขุโทสังคิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายาวินาสันตุอาเสสะโตรักขันตุโนสะทาโสตทีพระราหุเทวังรักขตุมัง
I'm here.
นะโมพระราหุเทวังปาปะ
I'm
จักขุโท
just
สังคิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรา
being in the
ยาวินา
moment.
สันตุอาเสสะโตรักขันตุโนสะตทีพระราหุเทวังรักขตุมังนะโมพระราหุเทวังปาปะจักขุโทสัง
I
คิลา
believe the
นา
title
กัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรา
says
ยาวินา
something
สันตุ
along the lines
อาเส
of
สะโตรักขันตุ
it's
โน
their
สะทา
pride
โสตที
and
พระราหุเท
arrogance
วังรักขตุ
that
มัง
causes them
นะโมพระราหุเทวังจักขุโทสังคิลานากัมมัง
to
จะสมุ
expose
ปะโส
themselves.
วินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายาวินาสันตุ
It
อาเส
is.
สะโตรักขันตุโนสะทาโสตทีพระราหุเทวังรักข
You
ตุ
know
มั
what
ง
I find fascinating though? More often than not, these be some of the people who really felt like they were on an assignment to help to assist to humble you because their accusations on you were that you were haughty
พระราหุเทวังรักขตุมัง
as you grew and evolved into whoever you are, your confidence, your individuality, your autonomy, speaking your truth out loud, living unapologetically without needing their approval. These are the same folks who was possibly wishing on your downfall, praying on your downfall, and like I've been saying on many videos, actually enacting things to create a downfall. They collab with a lot of religious figures, a lot of groups, individuals, to assist with, air quote, bringing you down a few pegs. Because by way of their own quotes and quoting the Bible and things that they carry and pretend to really honor and live by, they, within their thinking, said, pride, comes before destruction. A haughty, is one of their favorite scriptures when they're referencing somebody else. So they took it upon themselves as their own personal mission and assignment. But here's where it got tricky. People didn't know, especially the people you grew up with. You know why? Because they always have an outdated version of you that was never accurate to begin with. They have, like I said, in a lot of these cases, if they're NPCs, or on the spectrum, they first and foremost, they infantile you. And then on top of that, they have their preferences and favoritism is what they operate in. So when you decided to veer off into whoever you are, it was that you didn't have this approval, not that you needed it. So there's been several groups' missions to so-called bring you down a few pegs, as they quote the Bible. Yeah, these folks really be convinced. The fascinating thing is they can't see their own pride in their own mission of calling themselves bringing someone else down based on their own perception of that someone. Some of these folks slipped up, collective, whenever you click on this video, whatever that means to you, if it applies to you. Some of them slip up. Because it's the pride and the arrogance. And I'm going to explain this. That's why I said it. I've been saying it on a lot of videos. Some people just shouldn't be in shit. Some people just shouldn't be in no code, nigga. They shouldn't be in no collaboration and shit with the brain, because their arrogance and their pride is going to blow the operation. The very thing that they call themselves doing, bringing you down a notch, making sure they collab to make things difficult for you, calling it a move of God. Calling it a move of God. No, it's a move of a bunch of distorted humans deciding to act as God in listen, not even in their own life, in someone else's. Oh, that's fascinating to me. In someone else's life. Instead of acting as the God of their own. They would have done better if they would have went that route. You've dealt with people who maybe have always had it in for you or felt some kind of way. You got folks you went to school with, high school with, junior high, elementary. That's why some folks wanted to try to land you in the place that maybe you come from, because it could have been a whole bunch of people there that's stuck. So they want you stuck, and they wanted to take the opportunity. These are possibly all people who watch you if you're a content creator. They've been watching you for years, and they were waiting for such a moment as this. They're waiting for such a moment and such a time as this with their fake godly self. Because they didn't like who you became, it made them feel some kind of way about who they are and where they are and what their choices were, and the invasions did not like that, and so there was collaboration. A bunch of people that are crabs in the bucket. And crabs in a bucket doesn't mean that people are without. Crabs in a bucket is not about somebody that is impoverished or without money. That's not what that means. It's the mentality.
พระราหูเทวังรักขตุมังนะโมพระราหูเทวังบาปะ
It's a belief system. It's a
กัมมัง
consciousness.
จะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายา
It's a
วินา
view,
สันตุอาเสสะโตระคั
a
นตุ
system.
โนสะทาโสตถีพระราหูเทวังรักขตุมัง
That's what that is. They could have $1 million and still be a crab in the bucket.
เทวังปาปะจักขุโทสันทิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุ
I know we equate it to some kind of impoverished, people trying to hold your back, trying to keep, we equate it, but sometimes it's people that the haves that have not.
นะโมพระราหูเทวังปาปะจักขุโทสันทิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายาวินาสันตุ
So this was another torture program in lieu, in conjunction with the grander torture program. This was the small bootleg version on the scale of folks that just got it into you, didn't like you, they're secretly your troll. Wanted to dictate and control your talent. Isn't that lovely? Wanted to dictate and control your gifts, your talents, your creativity. Felt like they could be and should be God. They would play like that and think, that they're operating in some kind of, no, I'm not gonna, well, you act and well, you kind of trying to act like you are though.
เทวังปาปะจักขุโทสันทิลานากัมมังจะสมุปะโสวินาเสตุสมุปะอันตรายาวินาสันตุอาเสสะโตระคันตุโนสะทาโสตถีพระราหูเทวังรักขตุ
They slipped up, collective.
นะโมพระราหูเทวังปาปะ
You already suspected this shit anyway. Some of you all, in some of these incidences and cases, you already knew some shit was off. People were already giving off the vibes and saying certain things over time. And you were taking note every time. And when people felt like you were at your lowest is when their mask slipped. But that's always the way it works. When they think you're at your lowest, when they think you're in a position of need or misfortune, which is classic of an abuser. That's just an extra little side note. Look into it. When they felt you were in a vulnerable position without any resources or options, that's when they allowed their mask to slip and expose themselves. Because they felt like, well, what are you going to do? You're calling them, you're talking to them, you're in this position. You're not going to be, debating anything when you're focused on trying to remedy a crisis, situation, and you're trying to see if they have any information, knowledge, resources. Because when people are good and decent folks, and they have landed themselves in a certain place in life, and they ain't got that other weird shit going on up in their little get up, then it ain't nothing weird about it. They're not feeling some kind of way. If it's something they can do, they'll do it. They're not trying to make you feel low or less than, and they're not trying to. There's nothing weird about the whole interaction. There's nothing there because there's, it's like, oh, hey, yeah, oh, okay. That's sad. That's unfortunate, that you're experiencing this. Oh my God, I can only imagine. And how is your son? How is your daughter? Okay, yeah. Well, this one, like, there's a lightness and a sensitivity and an eagerness to whatever way. But a lot of these folks already showed you knew. As you possibly over time would talk to them and share certain things like this, the whole thing, you were clocking and noting.
You have to look at the material itself. The thunderbolt wood is.
And the apex was when they thought you were at your worst.
Literally struck by lightning and died standing. In the eyes of Time Master.
Because that's what a narcissist would do. The movies that we see, Sleeping with the Enemy, Enough, all the classic movies we've seen over the years about these abusers. And in one of the movies, this person that was trying to help the main character, they were like, as classic of a coward, when they think you're down. That's what they said, as classic of a coward.
People often look for things that bring charm or
as is classic of a coward, as is classic of an abuser.
It is the occult equivalent of a
Whether this is a collective abuser or an individual, as is classic of an abuser.
deals with the concept of connection.
When they think you're at your lowest and your best, they go for the juggler,
They have to
right?
establish a
And this is when they let their pretense slips away because they feel like they have the power and the leverage in that moment.
Unlucky or confused. Most people try to cut the wire, but masters who
So as where before, they pretend like they got respect for you, they pretend like they care for you, they try to be careful with language with you, but when they feel
or ritual, the moment a hex touches your aura,
that you're trapped, either that you're trapped or that you, like I said, when they feel
shoots it back down the connection the attacker established. It travels from you back to the source instantaneously.
when they feel like that, this is what happened in the collective message. They slipped up with you and said some things that sealed it. It sealed what you knew.
Protecting themselves.
In the moment, you didn't,
Not as a defensive
you went with it as to not, how do I say this? In the moment, you could have went with
the attacker's own weapon against them. If they open
whatever
a door to
transpired
send bad energy your way, the thunderbolt would
as to not
floods their room with blinding, scorching heat.
give
This
away
is why it is called
that
magic
you know,
retribution.
so that you can get the results or get what your goal was.
It's about physics. If you touch a live wire, you get shocked. It's not personal. It's just the nature of electricity. My fa.
Because in the moment, if you would have, then just as a mature adult and from just living life and your history with dealing with folks, you learned when you're dealing with these types of personalities.
Lightning knows the way. It follows the trail of
So you learn that, okay, we don't have time for this right now. We'll have to do that later.
with the force of a storm. The energy of the thunderbolt wood is
You
sharp,
learn that they're mass slipped.
commanded by authority.
Got you. Clocked. Already clocked. Write it down.
Burning away the
I
heavy,
got 'em.
suffocating fog of bad luck.
However,
The sun burning off a morning mist.
I still have a
It is
goal
the
I need to
ultimate
accomplish.
heavy artillery for spiritual warfare, designed for those who are done playing defense and are ready to end the conflict decisively. To tap into this specific frequency of protection and counterattack, the mind must be aligned with that same sudden cracking energy.
And even as you could have went into like going with the flow of it, it also revealed more as you let them talk.
Retribution chant now, and let the sound of the storm clear your path.
They exposed themselves. They exposed themselves and their whole group's operation. The whole plot of what the plan was for you. Entrap you as usual. Act like they're trying to help you and use this as a kind of whooping pose to punish you for whatever it is the fuck they feel you need to be punished for. The more you let people talk, the more you discovered. And then for some of you, some of the other individuals that expose themselves, as you caught them in certain incidences, like let's say there was an incident that happened as it pertains to your children or whatever, it's like, okay, you caught glimpses of people. In front of you, they saying, blah, blah, blah. But then when you catch an incident, they were sitting their ass in the car. Letting people, knowing that your kid is upset and triggered and activated, but in front of you, in front of you. Because who does that, you know? If, you know, a decent person, good person is going to get out of the car and say, hey, you know, what's going on? What's happening? They're not going to just be sitting there letting it happen. Not a good person. You caught it, and you still went with it. Because in the moments, you keep in mind, I still have a goal. Right now, this is my goal. This is not my moment. I see them for what they are. I see what this is. Once again, entrapment. Godly people, spiritual people, whatever language you all prefer out there in the universe, implying people of goodness, you know, whatever you want to call it. I guarantee you their mode of operation isn't the way these people have conducted, period. It's not. See, we're mixing communal narcissism with benevolence. If they're trying to trap somebody, that's not benevolence. That's called communal narcissism with an agenda to abuse someone. Yes, torture someone. Yes. So under the guise, see, it's all disillusionment. Under the guise this one of the persons could have said something like, it's throughout the Bible. The children of Israel, they get into disobedience, it goes bad. They get back in alignment, it goes good. And then they could have flipped and said something else. Or, which lets you know that that's their mindset, because people reference what their mindset is. I guarantee you, people use as points of reference their own personal mindset, their own personal mode of operation. And they could be telling you and giving it to you, the information of how they operate and how they're willing to treat you based on that. So that's why I said they blew their little operation. And what is that, by the way? This trying to keep you in the swing between you're being punished for being out of alignment or you're being punished because you're in it. So essentially trying to convince you that your life should be one big torture chamber. Either way it go. It's a torture chamber because you're all out of the will of God. And then it's a torture chamber because you are in the will of God. While we sit on our fat asses knowing ain't none of this shit true and get money for you and out of you and because of you. Because we ain't suffering while we convince you that you're suffering because you're in disobedience or you're suffering because you're not. Psychosis. Well, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't then. You're telling me I should just be cool with being tortured in suffrage while you go on your next vacation. They blew their operation. That arrogance. you can be in palm reading, into palm reading if you want to. But as for me and my house, they be thinking they saying something too when they doing this. As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Really? Your Lord told you to target somebody and they disabled children? Is that what the Lord you serve? Your Lord, did your Lord tell you to do that? They have to see Archon. But ain't no benevolent being operating like that. They be thinking they be saying something too. This is why, listen, y'all out there, don't even try it with your people. Don't even trip. Don't even try it. It's even in their Bible. It's in the Bible. It's in there too. This is what I always find fascinating. I shake my head. I'll be like, wow. It's in there too. He left. He went to his own received him not. He left. He left. He had to leave. Where he was from. Where he grew up. He had to leave. Oh my gosh. Don't even trip, collective. And this ain't about being pretentious. It's just crabs in the bucket. Then this is their way of trying to put you back in your place. And what is another word for that? What's another phrase for that? Puts you back in the bucket. These folks don't want you happy. They want you compliant. They don't want you or your children doing things that make you exuberant. They don't care. They want you a mindless, dead-ass drone. Dry as they are. They really operation. They're all disposed. These people, whoever these particular ones are, their arrogance and their pride blew their operation because it made your radar higher. It made you look at everyone else connected. Because if that was them, so who you talk to because of them, who you talk to because of them, they're blown. They're seen. Now they're under the gun. And then the more they operate weirdly around you, the heightened it gets. As if you don't know. People basically not even respecting social distancing. You're having a conversation with somebody. They should not be slithering their way into that. They were not invited, and it had nothing to do with them. And they wouldn't have been doing that with any other person that was in that area for you. It lets you know that the whole thing was a conspiracy. But you already could have suspected these individuals collective. You suspect it because it's like it's behavior. You look at what do a person do when they think you're down. You gauge in their ass like a motherfucker. They don't know it, but you are. Every word they say and everything they don't. Their little subliminal messages that they think you too dumb to know about. You're gauging it and you're taking a note because that's when you're going to get the truth. I said this years ago. You want to get the truth? You want to get to the truth? For realsies? If you really for realsies, want to get to the truth? Truth. about a person.
Diagnosing a spiritual attack does not always require elaborate
It's a few
ceremonies.
litmus tests that you can use that's going to give you your most highest accuracy.
Of nature itself. The
There's a
sever-cut
few
severance,
techniques.
involving the manau or lime, is a
One of them
diagnostic
is
cleansing
you at your worst,
used to detect and extract
or you in a
energy.
vulnerable position.
The logic is simple and chemical. Just as acid cuts through grease, the spiritual sharpness of the lime cuts through the sticky residue of black magic.
Listen, it's rare to get the truth when you're on a mountaintop. I'm just saying, that's my personal opinion, my personal res, okay? Because people, if you on a mountaintop and you got all these connects and you got all these resources and you're shitting gold bricks and pissing Hawaiian punch, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't say gold bricks. Let's say cotton candy, because gold bricks, it'd be painful. Ouch! Because when I say ouch, like as I pictured, I'm like, let's not go with the gold bricks. Out coming out of your poop chute. We're gonna say pooping cotton candy and pissing Hawaiian punch. Okay, when that's your life, you got the cool connections, stuff. You know, I'm telling you right now, 80-20 rule. You ain't finna get the truth. You ain't getting the truth. It's not all the way. You ain't finna get the truth. It's not all together. Not all together. Why? Because when you're in that position high in life, even if people if they're off or whatever, they opportunistic energy, that opportunistic thing that drives people. So it's like they may not like you, they might can't even stand your ass. But if I could associate it, I'm laughing because some people think they got friends and lovers and they do not. That's why I'm laughing. That's why I'm laughing.
The following recitation is the vocal component
because they do not.
With this severance to seal the gap in the aura.
All right, that is not what it is. It's you are a resource, and when all that fades away, whatever that supply is. But listen. Oh, okay. Hold on, guys. Anywho, so I've been saying that for years. I'm like, that's not the litmus test. That's not the litmus test. The litmus test is be vulnerable. From mass slip. Okay. Now, predatory energy, like I said, they will come in initially as like the savior, the communal narcissism. And so, but you'll see the leakage, which is what this collective message is. You called it. They didn't think you caught it. Because it was in the midst of so-called helping you. It was in the midst of it. Do you see what I'm saying? And you kept your eye on your goal. But you realize that, wait a minute, you could have felt like, okay, well, I'm picking up the vibe. I get it. So maybe there's a plot. You just maybe didn't know to what extent and what degree. You could have felt like this person initially maybe like, okay, so they want me to suffer or they want me to struggle because it soothes their religious itch or it makes them feel, like they're right and superior, blah, blah, blah. But you may not have necessarily thought that it was something more elaborate than that. Like people are basically committing felony is what they're doing. They're human trafficking. That's their behavior. I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay. We live by the decisions we make. And not in some weird way of somebody else deciding to play God because of somebody's decision and then deciding to go in and do something and call it some kind of move of God.
วชิระเศธโทสัพวิคาตะสัพพากิเลสสัพพันธะนังฉินคติปัญญายะอาโลกังปาตุโพติ
We live by the decisions we make. We decide to participate in human trafficking. We eat the fruit. Religious and political agenda. A felony. These could be people who thought you didn't deserve to have. They could have very well known about your thieving relatives. As they sing, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Wait, let me screenshot this. Hold up. Because I got to use this because this is one of my trolls. There we go. Got it. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. The religious agendas, the religious abuse, whether or not they feel like I am going to hell, that's neither here nor there as it pertains to them committing felony. That's neither here nor there. Their view of who I am and what I do, of them stalking and trolling. It's neither here nor there of them committing a felony. You see how that goes right over their heads? That's their spiritual view. And it's possibly one of my main trolls, which is why I screenshot this. So that when it's time for me, it's like me and my son are victims of hate crime. This felony, this human trafficking is based in religion. We don't get to do that. That's why I say the disillusionment. They can feel how they want to feel. And if they feel like they're chosen, they're chosen to go to jail for felony as well.
From the town of Bali. When destiny calls. I'm destined to be the world's #1 Pokemon master.
We live by the decision we make.
I can't be defeated by the likes of you.
These are people that's trolling me around saying this is of the devil, but they don't know the devil behavior.
Heard that again.
They don't see their own devil behavior. They're committing fraud. They're exploiting vulnerable populations. They're conspiring to cause issues for somebody based on their belief system. That's of the devil. And not the devil in the text in which they're referencing. It's devil behavior. It's illegal and it's toxic. Their view of you, of me, has no bearings and has no place for business. It has no bearings and it has no place.
Thank you, strawberry shortcake.
Today, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
It's abuse. It's abuse culture.
Clap your hands.
We believe this person is of the devil, so we get to torture them and then sing hallelujah. And spell your right, dum dum. Y-O-U-R is your. You want to say you are going to hell? It's Y-O-U''R-E. Smarty pants. Y-O-U''R-E means you are. Y-O-U-R means your.
Whenever they turn up, the lemmings always turn Grizzy's world upside down. You'd think they'd get along good, but despite all the new places they find themselves on Earth,
And delete the thread. They blew their operation. They're chosen to blow their whole people's operation. Yes, these people are chosen to bring down their own cults. So for the good old boys out there, the non-corrupt officials that's on the case, this is what's going on with my son and I and many like us. So in all these various situations that we have landed in, there are religious groups that are infiltrated in these various places that we have sought help. And they know these various people. And I will be providing that information. And they have conspired. This is what this has been about. And you hide it under the guise of programs and help. And once again, not all these folks know, but there are main players who do. So we are victims of hate crime. But because the way our world is set up, people know that you'll get in trouble for certain things. So they have to cover this stuff up. It's not like the olden days. So they have to go about it in very unique ways. Okay, well, we're gonna give them the bare minimum. We're gonna let them program, but we're gonna give them the rankiest, the rinky dinky ass shit that we've got.
Watch out.
We're going to be non-communicative. And then we're going to pretend we're going to close a blind eye like we don't know what's going on. And we're going to allow people to do certain things and pretend like we don't know what's going on. That is what's happening. Hate crime based on religion. It's narcissism. The collective, anyone out there in the world, none of us have jurisdiction, no matter who we think we are and what we think we believe, our God, our guru, or whatever. It's abuse. They can believe what they want to believe, and that's their sovereign right. But when they start crossing the line, that's when it turns into something else. When they start crossing the line, trying to do entrapment based on those things, they're committing a felony and they're participating in human trafficking based on religious beliefs.
Uh-oh.
When they start crossing the line, trying to find ways of how to get someone in trouble, make it difficult for them, and then try to report that they're not blah, blah, blah. Now they're crossing the line from having their belief system to committing crimes. Because it ain't nothing wrong with people believing that I'm going to hell. It ain't even nothing wrong with people believing that I'm the devil. If that's their right, that's a them thing. I'm possibly living cleaner than them and the people closest to them.
Dragonite. What makes you know about flying time?
But that's, again, they do have a right to even that, because that's collective. You know that. You are not even truly bothered even by that. That's the funny part. Because you have to care. And you don't. These are abusers. And they're blowing their operation due to their religious dogma. Their religious narcissism, pride, and arrogance. Who you are is not their business. What you do is not their business, just like who they are and what they do ain't yours. And when you're a decent person, like the collective, you wasn't wishing harm on people because of the differences between you all. That's them. And for some of you, it's because they know some of them are corrupt in nature. And they know that if the veil slips altogether, then they're going to be exposed. Their whole little religious garb is not going to hold a lot of weight and water very long. They know that.
Uh-oh, James. Uh-oh.
I'll be reporting. I have every full intention on taking this as far as I'm going to need to be taking it. And I already have the plan in motion, and actions have already started to be taken already. Because once again, me being targeted and, treated in a certain manner because of that is wrong. And it's also confirming and solidifying why folks like myself don't want nothing to do with what they selling. You don't get to choose to abuse people. They're a fucking colonizer. That's why folks don't want nothing to do with it now at a growing rate. Because that's like an abusive parent. I would want my son to have a grandparent that goes to the bat to make sure that they're happy, that they're safe, that they're taken care of, that they're comfortable, that their innocence is preserved. I would have 0% respect for a grandfather or a grandmother, a grandparent of any sort who was okay with calling themselves loving their grandchildren, but basically okay with people terrorizing them and torturing them. And I'm supposed to be convinced that they give a fuck. What kind of trash ass parent is that? What kind of trash ass parent is that? Girl, where's my tablet? Oh, never mind.
What?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not into that abuse culture. I'm not into that toxic so-called tough love that's based out of ignorance and insensitivity and a lack of empathy and a lack of humanity, the dehumanizing and demonizing. I'm not interested in you.
No doubt this will be a fierce battle. Let's do this.
What kind of parent? Now, it's one thing to say now if a parent wants to ensure, if you want to get into these extremes here, that's a little bit different. Okay, you out here in the streets doing drugs, drunken, partying, running with the wrong crowd, these things is like, okay, you gotta kind of step in like, okay, you're breaking the law, dude. You're out here breaking the law. You're out here. That's different. And even there still should be some kind of love, sincerity, benevolence threaded through that. But that makes sense because that has to do with somebody's making their life choices about abusing other people, and some kind of authority needs to come in for that. But not because what kind of parent is cool with abusing their children or their grandchildren because they have a different view than them? We didn't say that the child became a horrible person, was doing horrible things and blah, 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 blah. No, they had a different philosophical, spiritual bent. But they were a good person. They were mature. They were growing. They were developing. They were all those other things. So what kind of parent in that case? There's people who would go to bat for more for their druggy kid that's out here terrorizing folks than they do somebody who just simply has a different view. That's twisted. They done blew their operation. It's all blown. And it's leading you to highlight a whole lot of people because of it.
We're not falling for that.
News could have spread that you got social media. So now all these people that you have to work with and you know, possibly deal with are people who are sitting up watching you online.
On hillsides of volcanic regions, you'll find a
Some of them, like I said, most of these people don't even realize that they themselves are witches, warlocks. They themselves are. They're casting as I speak.
fragile and delicate Pokemon with enough training and determination will someday become a mighty Charizard. Glimpse into the charming life of
Entrapment. Some of you, as you navigate through this quietly, you're already marking them. You already taking certain actions.
The Teletubbies went for a walk in the sunshine.
Some of you may even investigate in body cams. I know I'm thinking about doing that for me and my son. Now that the situation is what it is, taking advantage. Because since people gonna be stupid, then they get to stay on camera. People gonna, call themselves being sneaky, on all these little things. Ooh, when they walk around the corner, ooh, when they go down the alley, we'll cue one of the degenerates to come down there and chant, whatever.
You're wonderful. We're so glad to be back.
I might.
Glad we're together again.
Because at the end of the day, you do get to a point where you're like, I ain't got no time for this.
I'll see you next time.
So I'ma just wear a body camera on GP for my safety. For my safety. This is for our safety because we are not safe. Our safety has been breached. And so since people don't want to believe, they want to attempt to classify you as somebody as being paranoid. So very well then.
Went for a walk in the sunshine.
Very well.
Saw something. It was a flower. Teletubbies love flowers. Teletubbies love being together. And the Teletubbies love each other very much.
I'll just wear a body cam that nobody can see. I'll invest in that. Get one for my kid. So as they say, we tripping and certain shit that happen.
Oh, that's the one.
I'm Ash from the town of Valley.
When destiny calls,
I'm destined to be the world's #1 Pokemon Master.
Ash is ready.
I can't be defeated by the likes of you.
Because once again, collective, whoever you are out there, you see this video someday.
Pikachu!
I don't care what you are. I don't care what you believe. They don't have a right to be doing none of that. That's not their jurisdiction. And since they think that it is.
Show me how strong you are, Staravia!
They think it's their jurisdiction
Pathetic. Just how could he
to
honestly
punish
encourage
you,
him to do a thing? Wrap it up with Sky Attack.
to force compliance out of you by way of abuse. That's what abusers do. That's what narcissistic abuse is. I'm gonna either silent treatment you, or I'm gonna word curse you, or I'm gonna withhold all these things until you come into compliance with what I command.
Oh, yes.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna breadcrumb you the bare minimum until you comply, till you conform. Because I'm God. I think I am. I need to be God of my own life, but I think that I am God of you.
Director has an aggressive temperament and will greatly attack enemies that are far bigger than itself.
These people, some of them are actually jealous of you. They want a destiny swap. They want your giftings to be used in the way that they want them to be used for themselves, to profit themselves and whoever they are. This is why they watch you, so that they can then glean and spend some shit on a Christian spin or whatever, claiming. When you're original, you ain't got to do that shit. That's number one, nigga.
Keep moving.
You ain't sitting up there trolling a bitch or a nigga that you claim is the devil. Oh!
What's happening now?
Right. Close combat's a fighting type move.
You ain't doing that. You know that they done blew their operation. You ain't doing that. Cause you original, cause you chosen. You sure ain't gotta wait. Ding. Blooming light is on.
Get the ring first.
Cause you original, cause you chosen, cause you know who you are, cause you in your own vibe, cause you in your shit. You ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta try to piggyback, trying to get attention by trolling somebody that you don't like. Oh,
Get that ring.
trying to get loose by trolling people that they don't fucking like. That's crazy.
It must be from all the damage it took earlier.
That's nutty as hell. Anywho,
Probably reached
back to the topic.
The ring is falling right near the goal. Whichever
Their operation is blown. The masks are off.
Sir Archer, you can do it. Get that ring and put it on the goal.
They're all seen.
Go.
Goal! And the winner
Oh, yeah.
Some people shouldn't be a part of a cult. Some people shouldn't be a part of none of this stuff. It's like a joke. But it's like, this is the problem with arrogance and pride, because if you call yourself operating incognito and you're trying to do something, you know, on a low, your arrogance and your need to try to have some zingers and insults at a person don't have no room for that, because that's subject to get your little shit blown. And that's exactly what they did. So now,
as you can see, the winner of the
let's see real quick, collective, whenever you see this, if this is for you, Darrell, could you do me a favor and hand me that purple bag there?
an understatement. So why don't we get the gang to dig in? Okay, come out, everybody.
Oops, that's not what I meant.
Where are you going to light up?
Oopsie.
Oh, no.
Child. When people listen, I done been learning. When people, you know, they need you to be a beggar and going back and forth and, you know, all that shit, they're telling you who they are right then and there. Mm-hmm. See, that's why the whole pulling back of your energy. Most of these folks out there get nervous when you're not talking, when you're not engaging, when you won't, like, they bounce between thinking that, are you hurt, are you sick, are you sad, are you down? They don't feel, they don't know what to think. They don't know what to think. I love it. I love it. It's like that's what they get. Because ain't nobody nobody didn't assign a dumbass in the first place. That's what they get. They supposed to be somewhere living life. But I'm already done. I smell barbecue nuts and barbecue discrimination, punitive damages, hate crimes based on religion, withholding, abuse of authority, abuse of resources, abuse of power, misuse, mishandling based on familiarity, jealousy, stalking, grew up with somebody in the same neighborhood, don't like their belief system, and now trying to take it upon thyself. Mm-hmm. These are the same people who didn't support you when you were on their path. That's another telltale. That's another litmus test. Because if they were not supporting you when you were, basically practicing all the things that they're claiming to practice now, why were they indifferent with you then? Why were they not supportive then? Why? And by the way, chosen people don't need to announce that they're chosen. I'm just saying, for any of you who end up seeing this, because I'm leaving comments, I'm not deleting stuff. I kept the comments on for a reason. I normally delete stuff, but no, I keep it on for a reason, because I'm gonna use this in investigations and everything. I'm screenshotting it. I want all of it. I want all of it. Because when you're who you are out there, you don't need to go on someone else's content to announce yourself, because you're too busy in your own shit. Trying to tell that person probably don't care. You see what I'm saying? They think they be doing something. You don't care. Especially when they don't have the balls enough to show up as they truly are in these social media platforms. Fake profile names. They don't have no picture. You know what I'm saying? Names that you don't recognize, whatever, when they can't show up. It's like, huh? Well, chosen people are on their shit. Chosen people aren't trolls. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. Chosen people aren't trolls. And what is this chosen shit? Again, hierarchy. This need to have classification. Nigga, be a decent nigga or a bitch. How about that? Be chosen to be decent. Oh. Shit. Be chosen to have your humanity in check and put your God complexes up your ass. As the common phrase, let God be God, that a lot of them like to use, will do exactly that, because it say let you be God over somebody else. This is of the devil. These people be fucking one another. Some of them pedophiles. Cricket. Some of them are cricket 501Cs. And no, not all 501Cs are. But that's my point. Talking about devil. Crooks. Nepotism. Hiring all they people knowing good and damn well they ain't shit. Having all these rules for everybody else, but then their very people violate all of them. Let's tap in and close this collective message with this. They done blew the operation. What this message is, they blew this, their arrogance and their pride caused their mask to slip when they thought that you were at your worst or in a very vulnerable position. And they, you know, I heard somebody else on another platform was saying how these people, they got people mad at them now because, this person was saying they got people mad at them because they basically blew the operation because of their need to say zingers and little catchphrases, or, you know, they basically did too many things to allude to it. And so now there's some people like that's mad at them because it's like, you gave it away. You gave it away that this wasn't a religious agenda. You gave it away. You said too many sayings that allude to we trying to punish them, or we're trying to teach them a lesson, or we trying to catch them up, get them caught up, that we work, you know, that you were working with their family member or whatever. So let's see what's happening with this energy that we have in mind here. This is applying to you, okay? The ones that their arrogance and their pride, as they dealt with you, they're masked, and this has blown the operation. Okay. So what's happening? Are they a cult leader? See, they themselves could be the cult leader, or their cult leader is feeling some kind of way. They themselves could be the actual cult leader. Okay. What kind of a ramification is playing out? Because it said they blew the operation, their arrogance and pride, saying people are upset. What's happening that may be covered, other people don't know? What's happening? Lost, ghosted, blocked, cut off. I have ascension. Family is in the reverse. Pop up. Somebody popped up. Soulmate in the reverse. So somebody's getting ghosted. Love. Lost, ghosted. Offer went into the reverse. They lost an offer. They just lost an opportunity here. Or either they lost an opportunity is retracted, there's a breakup. Intervention in the reverse. Because, yeah. Twin flame fell on the floor. False twin, hamster wheel. What's some ramification? Offer retracted. Financial support. Masculine is in the upright. Tragedy reverse. Love affair. Woo! Settlement in the reverse. Uh-oh. Offer is in the reverse. Settlement is in the reverse. Masculine is in the upright. Forbidden love. Tragedy reverse. Love affair. Done. Completion. Lesson learned. Somebody. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Done. So, yeah, there's some ghosting. There's people who maybe not want nothing to do with this anymore because of this exposure, this toxicity. These people have been happy to cause all this negativity in your life. Yeah. Yeah, feeling like they won, like they got you trapped, that you don't have no future. Well, I was asking what's happening to this individual. Well, they're being exposed. Okay, somebody that they were in a relationship with that they decided to participate in this shit for could be ghosting them because of this exposure. It's like, dude, your arrogance, you brought up, you catapulted this person's ascension, and now we're all going to be exposed for being negative and trying to basically stop their life, for trying to block their future, trying to entrap them, basically. Now we're finna have some issues here. We misjudged the situation. Now we're finna have some legal problems. Now we got to try to cover this shit up right here with this realization reverse and meeting, talking and shit. Oh, collective. I'm sure they want you to go to hell. They want you to go to hell because you're exposing, the fake hell that they don't even believe in themselves. Because if they really did, they wouldn't be doing the shit that they doing. They sure wouldn't be terrorizing your disabled children and letting people do it, trying to make it seem like there's something with you. They wouldn't even be willing to do that if they really believed Nickel. They wouldn't have been willing. Their humanity and their belief of the word wouldn't allow them to do so. What you have done to the least of these, you've done also unto me. Not even for a goal. Not even under the delusional thinking of, well, we don't like the mama, and so maybe we could just use this to make it seem like they not a good mama. No, they wouldn't do it under those circumstances because it still is inhumane to the being. It's insensitive. That's how you know people ain't operating in nothing benevolent. Yeah. So let's go ahead and clarify real quick. So there's a ghosted energy, a retraction of offer, and negativity is here and somebody is done. So what happened here? I got billionaire coming in a reverse, cult leader. Listen, folks, I'm here to tell people what they need to believe. And that's never really going to be my stance. You can hold your view and believe and stand true to that. But when you cross the line from your own belief to allowing that to bleed through how you're treating people, you're a fucked up person. When your belief that you have a right to hold bleeds through your integrity, what you would otherwise operate as, you're a fucked up person. Now, it's different if, this person is on the suspect of being a murderer, and then because he's on the list or she is on the list, you are trying to use some kind of wisdom and not give them keys and certain things because they are murder suspect and something's legitimate. We're not talking about that kind of stuff. We're talking about people's right to have their own religious, spiritual, political, and philosophical views and bents. That's what we're talking about. Period. And if that convinces you that that should allow you to then cross lines, then you're a fucked up person. And then some folks out there, you're not only you're a fucked up person, you're a hypocrite. Because if it was one of these famous people out here, you wouldn't be saying none of this shit you're saying. You wouldn't be doing none of this shit you're doing or saying none of this shit you're saying. If it was Beyonce and Jay-Z, you'd be sitting across the table trying to make a deal with them to do spell work on your family. Some of these folks out here wouldn't be saying shit if it was some of these famous people in their face. The people that they like, you know, the fans, whether it's sports, entertainment, music, you know what I'm saying, whatever. They wouldn't be talking none of that jive. They'd be smiling, asking for their damn autograph. I bet you they ain't gonna talk shit to Beyonce. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? They ain't gonna call her a witch. They ain't gonna tell her she going to hell. And she the devil. How much you want to bet? I bet you the same people that come on our shit wouldn't dare go on they shit and type the same shit up. How much you want to bet? They'll be trying to network with their ass, trying to get some connects, trying to get a come up. What's happened to this individual that blew the operation with their arrogance and their pride? Clarify. The oracle is coming out. Podcast. Ooh. Yeah. An oracle, this could be you, is done. Okay. Fashion witch, billionaire going into reverse. What's happening? Because they didn't blew the operation. So a fashion witch could be done with them because of an oracle. Land back where you're from. But with it going into reverse is where you're at now. Jealousy. Yeah, this jealousy stuff. Somebody is realizing they got to deal with this jealousy. This jealousy and privileges is reversed. Yeah, they done messed up this operation. They're making what they did messed up the shit, you know. It revealed, as they were trying to act like they're not jealous, and so they were trying to hide and act like they were not jealous or something like that, or try to claim that you were or something like that. But these folks is upset because it's like, look, this person ain't even jealous, but you're exposing. You're exposing this shit here. Y'all thought she was stupid, tinfoil hat. Thought she didn't know. Privilege. Troll. Then we're trolling. Her ideas. Her third eye. Trying to stop her privilege or trying to stop her from having what's hers. White tears reversed. Yeah, vampire in the reverse. Yeah, there it is. Like, she knows what we were doing. She knows we were fucking with her head. She knows we were trying to, you know, torture her feeding off of her, getting ideas from her. You done fucked this shit up. Trauma bond broken. Somebody. What's done happened to her? Podcast. They were celebrating and shit. Now they scared or hiding. What's this right here? This illusions. Casting illusions. Doing shit in secret. What are they suffering now? Why are these people are like mad at this person? Why are they mad at this person who, their pride and arrogance and their need to say zingers and do little weird shit? Show how bad they are. You know, because the devil is their hoe. What we have here? Who talks like that? See, I'm done, yo. People, man, help me, just help me. Real shit happening to end, and people sitting on their little shit, they catch face. Nigga, shit happening to real people. And the fact that these people think it's not like them should be punished is sickening. It's why people don't want nothing to do with this shit now. I'm not signing up for that. Because that means I got to sign away my autonomy and my agency. Abusive relationship, the world's largest abusive relationship. I have the star in the reverse. So I guess they're upset. We have an Aquarian energy here. Because I was asking, why are they upset with this person? The star is in the reverse. The star in an upright is about having your hopes, goals, dreams, aspirations, healing energy, reaching for the stars. They're under investigation. This page of swords. Yep. They're under investigation. They are being looked at. These people are being looked at whether they want to be looked at or not. These people, associations and stuff, they're being looked at because of this behavior. Star. I have King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Cap, and then there was an Aries in the reverse, the Fool in the reverse. This was foolish. They're upset with the King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Cap, and an Aries possibly. And Taurus, an Empress. This was foolish because this person is to choose to it was. Stupid, sitting here celebrating. They're dumbasses. It was premature. Yeah. They're sitting here celebrating. So they're upset because they can't. Oh boy. You ain't no fool. Maybe you know, they're upset because you saw all of this. 3+ people right here. Ooh-wee. And with this, y'all should see this Empress right here. King of Pentacles, the star in the reverse. Why is the King of Pentacles out? I gotta love it. Gotta love it. Oh, lover. A Gemini. Oh, devil. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We got the devil and the lovers. Look at that. Look at that. Next to each other. These are made. Two of Cups is in the reverse. Two of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, they're obsessed. They're upset because this toxic obsession, whatever this is being seen, or it's going to cost them. They may have an addiction to, the king may have an addiction to whoever this is, or this person, their obsessions together, something like that. There's, yeah. This is, yeah. Obsessed lovers. This is blowing the operation here. Two of Cups, fake friend. Two of Cups in reverse, there's no love here. These are partnerships that you maybe, you could see that there was no love there, that people were just obsessed with being cruel to you. Because with the Two of Cups and the Devil together, it's like people were obsessed with pairing with other people to be cruel to you, and they're obsessed with painting you as the devil, and that this is revealed, like this is blowing the operation, like, oh, these people are obsessed. They're obsessed with demonizing this person, and they're obsessed because based on their beliefs, then they're obsessed with causing problems for this person. They don't like who this person is, what this person does. They feel like this person's mastery bringing them off of balance. So they're hell bent on collaborating to kill this person's hopes, goals, dreams, and aspirations, because they don't agree with who this person is, what they believe. And they wanted to take the opportunity to exploit their vulnerability to do it. So why is the devil out and these people obsessed with this energy? As it pertains to them, why is the devil out? As it pertains to the energy that they're obsessed with. Because you see that there's no love here. That these people, they don't have love amongst each other, that there was no love for you. Fake friend energy, Two of Cups reversed. They're not going to be able to use partnership to come weasel in your life to fuck with you, because you can see, like, my friend, you don't even fucking respect me. You're sending zingers at me. You don't respect me, and people who don't respect me, then they're not my friend. I have maturity. I can respect beings that have a different view than me. If they haven't violated me, I can honor them and honor their path, as long as that's something that they're reciprocating to me. You're not my friend. You don't care for me or mine if you're disrespecting who I am. And I only disrespect people for with what they are when they disrespect me. Otherwise, I reciprocate the energy. You honoring me, I honor you. I don't need you to think the way I do. I don't need you to share Christianity, Buddhism, spiritualism, atheism, whatever, all the isms. I don't need you to be a walking clone of myself for me to have honor for you, and for me to feel like you should have a good life because I'm mature. And I know that my view is not the absolute. Just because I feel like it is, it don't mean that it is. They're upset because now they're trying to figure out how they're going to get out of this, how they're going to stay their ass. Tower. Tower is coming in the reverse with the Hanged Man reverse. They're upset. It's like, how are we going to, how are we going to get out of this? And we're not going to be able to sacrifice this person. Why is the Tower out? Because they're upset with this person. Why are they upset about this reverse Tower? Why are they upset about the reverse Tower? They're trying to hold a faulty foundation and they feel like this person messed that up. But why? Why are they upset with the Tower reverse? Yeah, I told you. Yeah. Ace of Pentacles reverse. Loss. That's a gift retracted, a gift lost, an offer lost. This is over. An offer is retracted. Rejected, retracted, lost. Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles reverse. Yeah, this is, yeah. And the World is in the upright. So there's an energy that has stepped in. Something has had to close out. Because this person's premature that behavior forced a lesson for some of you. And you realize that they don't have nothing to offer, or they were trying to block offers and take from you, and you can see it. That these people don't have love for you. They don't have love for you, and they don't want you having love. They don't want to offer you nothing solid, and they don't see you as so now these people are upset because it's like they're not. They're gonna take some hits. Yeah, Hangman in reverse. They didn't see something from the right perspective about these investments here. Their plans here. This was poor investment to try to sacrifice you and your children, to try to stagnate you, to try to block you. This is unloving. And this is going to provoke some looking into. Trying to stalemate, stall people out. That's not what shit's supposed to be. Oh my God. People really need help. They need help. Out here exploiting people under your religion and your politics. That's wrong. Try to beat somebody into subjection. Queen of Pentacles is coming out. This is fascinating. Chariot. Seven of Wands. They're not going to have a pot to piss in and a leg to stand on. Ten of Cups reverse, Seven of Wands in reverse. They're not going to be able to defend against this. And for them trying to make you unhappy and take advantage of you and your children's vulnerability is a price they are not prepared to pay. These people aren't prepared to pay. They didn't think they would pay for this. Trying to stop you from balancing out your chakras and, you know, from you being able to do the things that you need to help yourself and protect yourself and your family. Exploiting that under the guise of religion is one of the sickest things in this plane of existence that I've experienced and seen yet. And I've experienced some sick old shit, but this is one of the biggest. So Seven of Wands is going into the reverse. That's a pop back. So their happiness may be at stake. These people's happiness, they family here. These people may lose their own happiness on this bullshit. On this bullshit. Because motherfuckers is arrogant and Three of Pentacles reverse. Yeah, Seven of Swords reversed. The jig is up. Busted. We're exposed. They exposed themselves by doing the things they did, you know, while you were down and out and low, you and your family. but then want somebody to hear what they got to say about God and call themselves chosen. Yeah, 3 of Wands is going into the reverse. This plans is going to shit. This theft, you know, basically trying to stop your ships from coming in, block your choices, your plans. Their plans, this is it. The jig is up. They, you know, wanted to win at all costs. Let's try to stop your successes and opportunities, because that's what these people were here to do, to stop your success and your opportunities, to block that because they don't approve. And none of these people were ever asking you in the history of since anything if you approve of they shit. Yeah. The news is going to spread fast here. 8 of Wands is going to travel fast. 8 of Wands with the Chariot. What these people are doing. Following you around, stalking you, trolling you on social media, making it their purpose to do that. Yep, pronouncing judgment, wrong judgment. So now they're under final judgment. Hierophant reverse. Something is being laid to rest with this person, and that's going to be justice. Knight of Pentacles reverse, because this person is disloyal. They wanted to stop your growth, your forward movement. They betrayed you, and they elicited others to do the same. Under religion. Under religion. Yeah. The sun is here for exposure. Yeah, these people were happy to cause this for you. And they're exposed. They're concerned. These people are upset because it's like all this is exposed. We misjudged the situation here. It was a wrong judgment call. They could have abused somebody that they knew in law, or caused confusion to like the authorities and stuff like that. The sun is here. They're upset about the sun. Why are they upset about this? I told you. They're upset about the sun because there was lies. Ace of Swords, the lies are being exposed. Ace of Swords in the reverse. The lies. Yep. That they were going to get wish fulfillment. They thought that they was going to get wish fulfillment. An exciting new opportunity, or what they did for an opportunity, what they did to get some kind of new opportunity. Yeah, investing in this bullshit. Their plan is coming out. That they lied about the plan. They lied about working with 3+ people to cause misfortune for me. 4 of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands reverse, Emperor reverse, Justice. They also lied about being connected to toxic family. They lied to authorities. They lied about an Aries or foreign Aries, or this is Aries in reverse, or narcissist. Lied about trying to cause bad news and instability. Lied about you being sick. Lied about trying to cause you to be sick, you and your children. Yeah, they lied about doing spell work. I got the Magician and the Five of Wands. They lied about being jealous, causing chaos and conflict, sending it your way. Just making it their point. They got to deal with, there's arguments happening. And it's happening rapidly. They're fighting now. Magic is flying all over the place. All these people's plots, plans, and schemes. They lied. Maybe they thought this was going to be easy peasy. Just take from you. And they get some pop back. There's the past. Six of Cups, Queen of Wands, King of Wands. There it is. Lied about doing spell work. Lied about manipulating. Lied about being jealous. Lies about celebrating. We're creating this bullshit. Lies. These people are upset because it's exposed. The lies are, maybe they even feel like this person lied to them as well. Like this was premature. They didn't know that it was going to turn into an all-out fucking war. But that's sick to me anyway. I'm done. That's why I'm like, and I'm supposed to believe these people are decent. They shouldn't have had to believe that it was going to be something easy peasy. They shouldn't have been wanting to do the shit regardless. Because that was not their place to do. And they'd be like, hallelujah. That's wrong. That's so wrong on so many levels. On so many levels. And want people to look at them with honor and buy what they selling. It's like, that's wrong. You torture this person's a kid. You're on a modern day witch hunt and you should be the first one you tie up. That's why, I'm convinced about programs. I feel some kind of way. I'm currently in the vibe of seeking for me and my son stuff that's truly, I may have to step out of our culture and land and something that is truly non-partial, non-biased. Because I don't want nothing to do with that. If people looking at me like I'm some kind of devil, I can't trust that environment. I can't trust that me and my son will be safe and that our belongings are safe. I can't trust any of that if we are being looked at as some kind of devil because we have different spiritual philosophical bent. These people are subject to try to block opportunities. There's, I don't know how to feel about that. That's not a good, I'm just saying, for people that's not guilty of this, then they're not guilty. But I'm saying, this continual, incessant attempts to entrap is about to blow up bad. Because now I'm taking it to other levels. If I can't feel in any given program, any location, space, if I can't feel like me and my son, or you can't feel that way collective based on who you are, that's a problem. It's against the law, but that's a problem. That's a problem that needs attention. Because then those particular folks, if that's how you feel, you don't know if they're going to really serve the way in which things are meant and designed to serve. You don't know if, you leave, are they going to be trying to hurt you and your kid because they're on some kind of modern day witch hunt? Are they going to be trying to, manufacture mishaps and, air quote accidents and, blase blase? Or are they going to be trying to stagnate you because they feel like you should be, they want to be able to watch you and abuse you and torture you and hinder your life? And what is this thing? When people call you and they're saying something, I don't know about you, but I'm a woman. I don't care. I'm gonna just set the record straight. I don't care. I have learned and lived long enough to know that people say a whole lot of shit. So I don't care. As a person, what I do now in life, I don't care. I simply look for how people are going to show up. They can talk eloquently from here to kingdom come, and they can say all of the niceties that they want to say to me. I'm watching, engaging their vibe and their behavior at the end of the day. I don't need somebody to announce that you might become a red flag for me the moment you feel the need to tell me you're a man of God or a woman of God or faith. Because I'm going to be like, okay, so what are they? Okay. So what are they? Are they one of the paid actors? To get me on the phone like I don't know. This shit's been obvious a long time ago, and I appease it when I feel like it. You don't need, for the collective, y'all don't need to say nothing about you a woman of God, a man of God, a faith. All you got to do is simply show up and be the decent person that you claim to be. And that'll speak on its own and for itself to them. We're at 2 hours yet? Almost. So let's get some final messages. It's the pride, it's the arrogance, it's the presumption, it's the projection. Kevin, scapegoated you feminine to try to bypass consequence. These are people who are cowardly. They throw you under the bus because they don't want to suffer some consequences here. I have a number that ends in 1172. I don't want to say the full phone number, but it's a 409 area code, and the last four of them is 1172. This person may now be going through an awakening because it's on a card that says this masculine is silent, but they're lethal. So there's an energy of a masculine that could have gone through some kind of awakening, and he knows about this stuff, and he's lethal. He's doing some shit because he sees that these people are addicted to interfering. It says addicted to interfering with other people's lives, competing, causing chaos, that these people are addicted, and they don't mind hiding behind religion to do it. Yeah, you have a heart of gold here. It's a heart of gold. I have much to offer, but I am Clark or Claretha Kent. Good-hearted person. And these people trying to demonize you and scapegoat you while they terrorize the Americas and then shout hallelujah. Stephanie, these people stole from you, but then you the devil. Ain't that some shit? They stole from you. Financial gifts, paid people to hide it, paid people to lie, but you a devil. That's how twisted people is. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. That's how they justify their felony behavior. Michelle? And then they'll tell you to, get over it and move on. And you're the devil and you should get over and you should move on. Four of Cups, Lorenzo, fatal accident. People weird. Increased attacks on you and your children because it's falling apart. Angel. That's why they did this whole little entrapment scheme. As usual. As usual. Latoya, the letters N like Nancy, F like Frank. Abracadabra, hocus pocus, oops, dark magic is going wrong. Ramon, karmic's children are suffering. This is the consequences because the spell work that was done on y'all's children. Dumbasses. Tired of people being mad at me, collective. It's like, well then get your crazies in check, nigga. Shit. Get your nut bags in check because they out here doing shit to motherfuckers. Don't be looking at us. They out here doing into shit that people don't be wanting nobody to know they into. Terrorizing disabled people and shit, snickering and laughing and shit. These are the motherfuckers y'all holding up in high honor. These are the motherfuckers that's preaching the gospel to you. These are the motherfuckers that's trolling social media, making statements like you can see on the screen if you're on this video at some point. Because I'm going to leave it up. I ain't taking it down. Terrorizing people. Don't care if disabled people suffer and live in torture and torment because they religification, bitch, won't let them sleep. Weird ass. Hioka empath game changer. They gonna learn and they show the fuck is. Pam, Roy, Diana, Gayla, Devin or Devon, Darrell Sr. Interesting. Yeah, you ain't, Feminine says, I have tried this. Feminine ain't no joke, yo. Feminine's like, People take me and my children's life like a joke. It's on. Think this shit a joke. They think this shit a game. They think they're my God and have the right to dictate how me and my children live. And they have the right to pay for that then. All at the same time, nigga. Now. Okay, you're going to go through some kind of rapid recovery or somebody's recovering. Open-minded. Reiki light language, yeah. Inner child validated because you're no longer squelching and pretending. Okay, you got some people defending you finally, Feminine. I don't know where they are, but it says people are now defending you because they can see the truth. Yeah, because this people is under some fog. Like, it's weird. They're under some kind of mind control. You know, I don't know what else to say, but it says they can see the truth, and then behind it says Bobby. Then it says, you have a very humble and grateful heart. Chianti, Monique. Just tired of people fucking with you. You know, people just weird. It's one thing, listen, you in the vibe of like, look, it's one thing, people don't want to support you. People don't want to, you know, okay. It's like, okay, that's, you know, we all have the right to decide, like, hey, that ain't my vibe. I ain't for that. I ain't with that. So I don't want to invest my personal, and I'm, you know, legally, okay, so I don't have to. That's one thing. It's another thing to try to stop somebody, though. And that's where I say people are crossing the line, because that's a whole nother animal. It's one thing to not want to personally support. It's another thing to commit fraud. And it's another thing altogether to sign some papers because you don't want the bitch or the nigga to have what's theirs. It's another thing to try to stop that person's livelihood because you don't like them. See, that's the blurry line that a lot of these zealots don't get. It's not about them. It's not about, like I said, they have a right to feel and think and believe how they wish. And they have a right to not want to, when it comes to their own personal investments. But it's a very thin line, okay, when you're talking government funding, when you're talking business, when you're talking, like, there's a very thin line. An integral person will refer somebody out to something else if they know that they're not going to be the one to give that person the full spectrum of honor and services. An integral person will do that. Say, hey, you know, I may be partial here, and I don't know if I can say my judgment is going to be fair. I know I'm intelligent, but I have strong views on certain things, and I might not be as motivated to go above and beyond to help this person. I'm honest enough to say that. And so to prevent that, I shouldn't be the one involved. Maybe they'll be better suited. Let's see if we can get them help somewhere where that's not a thing, or we're not connected to a toxic ex of theirs or a toxic family. Maybe we're not. Let's see what we can do to ensure that they have them and their family has a fair and healthy shot, because we might not be the one. That's how integrity operates. We might not be the one, just to be fair. And if something were to arise, we wouldn't want this to turn into a thing. So it'll be better. And for not only for them, but for us, to ensure that they may get some impartial, proper help that's not convoluted with toxic exes and relatives that wants to control their life. And that's not convoluted with strong religious views that blurs these people have major overinflated ego, but hoover you for ideas. Okay. Let's get your final. We got 2 hours, y'all. So y'all know y'all ain't gonna hear from me possibly for a couple few days. You might hear from me tomorrow, but we'll see if I have time, because I'm gonna try. Today was a self-care day. Clean up day, going through, the stuff that's in here the best that I can. Making masks out of homemade products, out of kitchen products, and that's what today was. It was self-care, relaxation, listening to frequencies, watch a couple of shows, help my son cut his hair, creative ways to manage his hypertension. So he's on garlic supplements on top of his medication. And coming up with creative ways to monitor all of that. So that's kind of what today's been. Okay, it says sympathy. I am sorry. It says I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Feeling remorseful. Okay, it says you're very special. I love the way you treat me. Your actions speak. Okay, somebody got caught up with somebody that was in the club life. Letting go. Yeah, you're letting go. It says it's over. No more drama. Whew. Yeah, that's what you're aiming towards. That's what's happening for you. That's what you're manifesting. Okay? Because this is sick. All this stuff is a weirdo, sick obsession with people. Because it's your life, it's really highlighting how a lot of people aren't as respectful and adult as they think they are. Because somebody else's life is not your business. What they believe, it ain't my business, ain't your business. Yeah, letting go. Baby mama, baby daddy issues are in the reverse. Somebody is clearing out baby mama and daddy drama. Somebody met at a club. Okay. It says self-love. Treat yourself. Take care of yourself. Or take yourself on a date. Many of you, that's what you finna do. You're letting go. You're doing what you can, to clear these things out. You're doing what you can and being guided, just letting things go, taking actions that you can take, but really putting a lot of energy on taking care of you. Because all this fighting, basically they just want you to be in this merry-go-round where it's this constant, oh, what crazy killer they got, And if you're doing all of that, you're not self-caring and self-loving. You're not taking out the time, because it's the fiasco. Somebody might want to talk to you, because I have ignoring going in the reverse. Experience the unknown. The door is waiting for you to walk through to something beautiful. Yeah. Interesting. Right after a door closed. So it's as you close this cycle out, you're closing out a cycle, you finna walk into something else. Yeah. Yeah, obsession is going in the reverse, closing out doors. You want something new. You're tired of the old. Because people be liking you, but they want you to stay stuck and trapped. And it's I can't breathe in that. I can't breathe to suit you. You need an old, outdated version. Uh-oh. So just check it out. Got some good results. Nothing is wrong. Nothing to worry about. Maybe somebody had a STD scare. Great results. It says you're clear. Justice will be served, and that's going to be because you all are taking the necessary choices and actions, and you're doing what needs to be done. Okay? Because we can't, ain't nobody coming. We have to come. We have to show up. We have to show up. A secret work lover? I secretly want you. We can be a great team together. I love that you're smart and ambitious. Somebody loves that you're smart. Somebody want to take you out. Somebody's not intimidated that you're smart, and they don't feel the need to, knock you down a peg or two. Snake in disguise is in the reverse. So this is somebody. Maybe in the past they were a snake. Movie night. A new home. Shit, I know that's right. Some of you. Whew. Somebody may want to pamper you, may want to date you, may want to buy you a home or get you in a, get you out of this frustrating situation. Well, shit. Because I got frustrated reverse. And they want to say sorry. Because sorry now is coming out. Uh-oh. They've grown up maybe since the fall, because I have emotional immaturity coming in the reverse, and then I have the fall season. Secrets are in the reverse. Look at that. Somebody's I'm gonna come clean. And then the wedges are going to reverse. So there could be some energies that want to step forward and come clean. I won't say hold your breath. I'll just say collective. Focus on the first two cards. And the first two was letting go and self-love. And if folks coming in ain't in the vibe of supporting that, aiding that, cheering for that, encouraging that, taking actions to support that, then you don't want nothing to do with those. You don't have space for people who can't show up and who blocks you from being able to do that. Because at the end of the day, the shit that you're dealing with, you need to be able to take care of yourself. You need to be able to self-love. You need to not have to be managing something for 5 minutes. You're managing children. You're managing the fact that you're being stalked, dealing with adult abuse, dealing with religious abuse and all those things. Because that's the reality. These are abusers, spiritual abusers, religious abusers, financial abusers, because when you withhold government resources or any such resources that could assist and better somebody's life intentionally, that's called financial abuse. Withholding is also a form. When it's intentional, when it's malicious, when it has an agenda behind it. Well, we're gonna, we'll do this and that. No, it's still the same. It's an abusive relationship, abusive parent, and abusive lover. They're gonna breadcrumb you and let you perform and tap dance. They're gonna give you some rinky-dink ass, ran down, beat up ass shit when they could have given you filet mignon. Yeah. Okay, somebody want to talk. I got ghosted reverse, secrets reverse. Ooh-wee. They better start talking. Because names are going to be flying, bitch, like a motherfucker. Better start talking. What do you need to know? A masculine is sincerely sorry but afraid. So we got 2 apologetic cards coming out. Y'all better start talking. Sincerely sorry. I wonder who's sorry. Who's sincerely sorry but afraid? Let me get this. We don't listen. Masculine, if y'all see this video, all due respect, the feminines don't have bandwidth. They're surviving. People are trying to kill them. You understand? People are trying to slow kill them because they can't look like the real murderous killers that they are. People are trying to kill them and their children. They're trying to make them sick. Do you understand? They're trying to create all kinds of legal issues for these women. They're trying to get them caught up with charges as they terrorize them when they're children, like they're a bad mother and they can't take care of their child, as they terrorize their children. They can't shit in peace. You understand? They can't take their kid to a park without pervs following them. Do you understand? They can't go to a gym, a mall, a store. They can't go to the trash can without a weirdo. They can't take their kid to the hospital, to the emergency room, without 3 or 4 Masons and Eastern Stars and their cult members swarming the place. Do you understand? They can't get a Lyft and an Uber ride without it. Chances are either being a cult member themselves or the cult people being cued on the Uber in which they have so that they can follow them around. They can't do all the regular things that everybody, 99% of the population, get to enjoy without a second thought naturally. Without somebody intruding, without somebody being rude and obnoxious, without somebody attempting to cause them to get triggered or their kid to get triggered. They can't walk places without somebody trying to coordinate some shit so they can chant some shit at them or throw something out their window. These feminists want to wear body cameras now as a standard of life because people aren't taking them seriously. On top of them needing to deal with their children and all of the things that they have developed because of this crazy shit, all of the phobias. They can't parent in peace because they're under constant scrutiny. They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. If they don't take authority and make sure that their children are properly dealt with, they're in trouble. If they do take authority and then there's some kind of a fight or an argument and upheaval, then you see? Because that's what people are up to, and they know that. So they just don't. Whoever you all are that sees this video someday, listen, that's what I said, with all due respect, they don't have room. People are gonna have courage and balls. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to face their fears. They're gonna have to face if time wastes. Feminist's not. She's not into that. Her life has been exploited. Their children's life has been exploited. They're not into waiting for 20 years while they continue to be exploited. She knows fear. These feminists understand fear. Look what they've lived. They know fear, but they know that they have to face it too. They know that the only way out is through. They know that the only way these people have had spells on these ladies' lives to cause people to reject them, to abandon them, to look at them as not having anything worth offering and all of that stuff. So she just doesn't, she can't afford to have to hold someone else's hand. Because ain't nobody been there to hold hers. She has exhausted herself with compensating for people's lack of intelligence and their lack of emotional maturation. To no avail. Because then people just say, oh, well, whatever, because I don't want to have to grow up emotionally. If you guys care for these women, you're going to have to face your fear. That means the fear of the Jezebels that you've been running from your whole life and letting control you. And what they may or may not do to you. Yep, I said it. Because that's what some of y'all got trapped up in. You were scared of these Jezebels. And when I say Jezebels, I'm not coming from the religious space. The feminines aren't coming from the religious space. She's coming from an energetic space. These people who are control freaks, they have an unnatural thirst for power and control. They convince people to do bad things, and then they'll turn around and exploit you and judge you for those very bad things that they influenced you to do. I gotta go because this is over 2 hours. I'm going into 3. I gotta go once I clear my energy up. But again, you guys are gonna have to. You're gonna have to do. You gotta face it. You scared of what the feminine say, or you're scared of these people? Well, She's living this every day. She don't know in any given moment what cult member, what Mason or Eastern Star, or what just weird obsessed person that's trolling her on her social media. She don't know. As she has to navigate these programs and play these roles in this matrix, you know, making doctor's appointments and, you know, dealing with case managers and going to all these places. She going to, everything has been exploited in her life. She know that 90% of who she's dealing with is fraud. $80 to 90%. She knows. But yet she has to continue on and do the best that she can. Because what other choice is there?